Being alone is one of the cruelest tests of modern life. Not because of the absence of others, but because of the inevitable presence of oneself. When silence takes the place of everyday noise, when there is no one around to distract or validate us, something profound emerges. A discomfort, an unease, a sense of emptiness that can no longer be ignored. This emptiness is not new. It has always been present, disguised under commitments, hurried relationships, and endless notifications. The truth is that loneliness reveals what we spend our lives trying to hide, the distance between who we are and who we should be. And it is precisely in that space that anguish resides. It is not the lack of company that destroys us, but the lack of connection with ourselves. Søren Kierkegaard, one of the greatest divers into the human soul, saw this anguish as the symptom of an existence that has yet to find its truth. For him, the despair we feel when we are alone is not an emotional failure, but a spiritual alert, a call to authenticity. Loneliness is the mirror where we are forced to confront the freedom of being ourselves and the responsibility that comes with it. We flee from silence because it exposes us, because it reveals how lost we still are from ourselves. On the other side of this dive, Arthur Schopenhauer offers a radically different, yet complementary perspective. He does not fear solitude. He celebrates it. For Schopenhauer, the ability to be alone is not a weakness, but a mark of greatness. It is a sign of a mind that does not need external noise to feel alive. In his view, solitude is the refuge of elevated spirits, those who are not content with the mediocrity of distractions, those who have found a home and a fortress within themselves. This video is an invitation to traverse between these two shores, between the emptiness of loneliness and the fullness of solitude, between fleeing from oneself and the courage to inhabit oneself. Because what you feel, this silent discomfort, this pain that is hard to name, is not a mistake. It is a sign, an urgent request for you to stop running, stop losing yourself in others, and finally begin to return home, to within. Here, I do not offer easy consolation. What I offer is clarity, a direct, unmasked look at what it means to be alone, and how this experience, when well understood, can become the most liberating of your life. If you have made it this far, it is because something in you is tired of fleeing. And perhaps, just perhaps, you are ready for the truth. The emptiness you feel is not loneliness. It is longing for yourself. Loneliness, for many, is perceived as an emotional burden. But for Søren Kierkegaard, it is much more than that. It is an existential mirror. Loneliness is the experience of being face to face with oneself without excuses, distractions, or personas. And this encounter can be devastating when we spend our lives entirely committed to the task of being anything but who we truly are. According to Kierkegaard, the human being lives in constant tension between the real self and the idealized self. Instead of seeking our own truth, we prefer to adapt to the demands of a world that values appearances, status, and performance. We create an identity to survive socially, and then we cling to it as if it were true. But in the silence of loneliness, this facade begins to crumble. And when we have no one left to perform for, all that remains is the discomfort of realizing how far we are from ourselves. It is at this point that what Kierkegaard called existential despair arises. A state of suffering not caused by external events, but by the internal perception of being at odds with our essence. Despair is the inevitable result of self-denial. It is not fleeting sadness. It is a silent abyss between what we are and what we pretend to be. Loneliness lays bare this abyss because it eliminates the noise that used to muffle